जितने लोगों की ज़िंदगी में फ़न नहीं है इस वक्त, चाहे वो 50, 40, 60, 70 जितने के भी हैं, ये हमारा कसूर है. हमने चीज़ों को मैनेज नहीं किया. 3 इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ों को मैनेज नहीं किया.
Good afternoon and welcome
रिलेशनशिप्स
to
को, फाइनेंसेस
Salaam
को,
FM.
या चौथी चीज़ जो कि बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट थी वो हमने बनाई नहीं, मकसद. उस मकसद के पीछे जब हम चलते हैं तो उसकी जरूरत.
Good afternoon and welcome to Keep Women Talking, a show from Peterborough Women's Aid. We are delighted to be here this afternoon, and boy do we have a show for you. Not only one guest but 2 guests. My name's Mandy and I'm your host for today, and I'm joined as always by Sue. Good afternoon, Sue.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, snap.
I think people are going to be really pleased. They're not going to be able to see me today because I'm going to be sitting this way.
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. I've had a bit of a cold last week, so I may start coughing, so I'll apologise now if I have to.
I hate a
leave.
summer cold.
I
What's
know.
all that about?
It was 30 degrees and I've got a cold, and I was like, what's going on? That's just
Rubbish,
mad.
isn't it? And today we have 2 very special guests. We are joined by Joe and Maya, who are with Peterborough Women's Aid today for work experience. Good afternoon, Joe.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Maya.
Hi.
And we're going to do a little bit of a role reversal in the first half of the show. So Joe and Maya are going to be asking Sue and I questions.
I'm slightly nervous about this.
Slightly nervous because we don't know what they're going to ask us.
Got no idea what these questions are.
But I think it will be fine. But as always, we are going to start with our question of the week. Joe came up with this one, didn't you, Joe?
I did indeed.
And the question of the week is, what food would you totally not eat? So my answer to this is lamb.
Yeah, you don't like lamb at all, do
I
you?
really don't like lamb. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I see them bouncing in fields and I think, oh, I don't want to eat that.
Cute little
I
lambs.
don't want to eat that. So yeah, mine's definitely lamb. What's yours, Sue?
See, when you asked me this earlier, my immediate thought went to sardines. And I don't know why sardines, but just sardines. But I don't like fish generally.
Not even a fish finger?
I like a fish finger. And this is where I'm going to get really weird now.
Go on.
Because I like fish fingers. I like fish from the fish and chip shop, and I like fish if it comes in breadcrumbs. But if it's fish that smells really fishy, then I don't like it.
So Sue does not like fishy fish?
Yes.
That's all we need to know. Okay. Joe, what about you? What wouldn't you eat?
I probably wouldn't eat a liver. I don't like the colour or the shape of it. It looks too big and too pale. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I tell you what, my mum used to make me eat liver and bacon.
Oh, no. See,
And
I'm
the
with Joe.
texture of liver. And I tell you what I used to do. I used to pack it all in my mouth, right? And then say, I've finished. And then I'd go and spit it in my sock drawer.
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, that's revolting.
I know, but liver is just gross. But it's very good for you, though, isn't it?
It is
That's
apparently,
the
yeah.
thing.
Full of iron.
But no.
If you spit in a sock drawer, though.
Yeah. Maya, what
Definitely
about
not.
you? What would you not eat?
Okay, I've changed my mind, and mine would be cauliflower cheese.
Really? That's the only way to have cauliflower is cauliflower
Smells good,
cheese.
doesn't it? Cauliflower cheese.
Definitely.
So, I'm quite shocked by that, Maya, because I love a bit of cauliflower cheese. But there we go. So, Sue, what has been going on at Peterborough Women's Aid since we were last on?
Yeah, so we've been busy behind the scenes as ever. It's all been a bit crazy on the front line. But this week you spoke at the DASV conference.
I did. So that is a conference, it's Domestic Abuse and Sexual Violence Conference. And I spoke about refuge and safe accommodation and who we can take into refuge and who we can't, and what we need to change in our whole system to make sure we can accommodate more women and children. So that was exciting, and there were lots of guest speakers, and I think there was about 150, 200 people there. So yeah, really good.
Good event then.
Yes, very good.
Perfect. And now groups are continuing as usual.
Our groups are
So
continuing.
Women Warriors on a Tuesday and Friday in Peterborough, Legs, Bums and Tums on a Monday afternoon, meditation on a Thursday afternoon. No, Wednesday afternoon.
No, you're right, Thursday.
Was it Thursday?
Yep,
See,
you're
I'm all
right.
confused. Too many groups now. And then our groups in Fenland in... See, my brain's just not working
Food
today.
brain's gone.
The heat's getting to me. Wisbeach and March on a Thursday.
Perfect. And I've just also done an interview this morning for Greatest Hits Radio about sex workers. There is a guy that's going to be convicted today in Cambridge for murdering a sex worker. And the interview is very interesting about why sex workers wouldn't report to authorities, so the reporting rate is a lot lower than it is for people that aren't sex workers. And we talked about being judged by the police.
In terms of abuse, are we
Yeah,
talking?
Yeah. So that was very interesting. So, question of the week. What would you definitely, totally not eat? Gina has been in contact. She said liver, Joe. Yeah.
There you go.
She's in full agreement with you.
Yeah, in full agreement with you. So, on today's show, it's role reversal time. So, we have Joe and Maya here. They are on a work placement today with Peterborough Women's Aid. Joe, what are you studying that brings you here?
I'm studying politics.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Maya?
Health and social care.
Okay, so we've got a little bit of a mixture. Sue and I are going to be in the hot seat,
Hopefully between us we'll be able to answer the questions.
hopefully. And if we've got enough time after our little interview, we are going to be talking about safety at night for women, something that Sue and I are very passionate about. So, Joe, over to you for your first question.
Okay, so you've already spoken about what you've done this week with your interviews and your conference you attended. I was wondering, what else do you both do in your roles at Peterborough Women's Aid?
Ooh, who wants to go first?
Shall I go first?
You go first.
So I tend to oversee the day-to-day running of all our services, whether that's the outreach services that supports people within the community who have been subjected to domestic abuse, and then I also oversee the safe accommodation that we offer within the local area. So it's full on,
So
constantly.
Sue literally does everything. Looks after every single one of our services, and then also on top of that does things like mow the lawns, puts up
Unblock
shelves,
toilets.
And I suppose for you guys, this is something that actually is a bit of an issue when you run services like we do, because it's not just a case of we're opening a refuge, we'll get some people in to decorate, or we'll get some people in to do the kitchen, or we'll get some people in to do the lawns, because obviously the address is confidential, so we can't have removal men coming and doing stuff. Literally everything we have to do
between ourselves pretty
or
much.
with very trusted people.
Yeah. And we're very lucky at the moment because we've recently employed a brand new housekeeper who is amazing.
Yes, yeah.
And she does quite a lot of the practical and DIY things.
Yeah, so when we say we're opening all of these houses, it's literally like Sue and I are opening these houses, so we're cleaning, we are mowing,
building furniture, sorting the garden out.
Yeah. So my role as CEO, I do a lot of bid writing. So I have to make sure that we've got income coming into the charity. And so there are bids all of the time that are on the go, because the kind of hit rate is probably only about 30%. So I could fill in 100 bids, but only get 30. And I do a lot of that through local funders like Police and Crime Commissioner, local authority, and then you've got national funders as well, like the National Lottery, and then you've got more kind of grant-making bodies, so you might get 1,000 here, 2,000 there, so on, but that really adds to our money pot. I do a lot of conferences and talks and try and promote PWA, so this is why we do the radio show. We've just started doing a podcast on YouTube, so it's all about promotion, it's all about generating income, and then like Sue, everything else as well, so HR, finance, buildings, anything that you can
just
think of.
Just overseeing everything and the strategic role and developing the organisation as well.
Because we've always got to think of what we want PWA to look like in a couple of years' time. When you work in the charity sector, you can't stand still. You've got to be thinking, okay, where do we need to be next? How are we going to get the money in? So it's I would say it's a pretty full-on job.
As well as raising awareness around domestic abuse itself in between all of that.
Yes. Does that satisfy your question, Joe?
Yeah, and I've got a follow-up question from that.
Oh.
So you said, sounds like it's very hard work, and you said you don't get much external help. So with that, why do you do what you do? Why have you chosen your career path?
Oh, that's such a good question, because when I was at primary school, I just wanted to be a lorry driver. And then I left college, so I didn't go to uni. I left college and I worked at a motor finance company. Random. But I'd always known that I wanted to do something to help people. So in my spare time, I started to go to Open University, and I didn't get a full degree, but some qualifications in kind of social science and stuff. And then I was very lucky that I got a job in the probation service. So I was there for 14 years doing a variety of roles, mostly centred around domestic abuse and working with perpetrators rather than victims. Got some personal experience about very unhealthy relationships, and my passion has always been to work with victims of abuse, but more importantly to reach as many women as we possibly can, and that's my kind of drive, I suppose. And I keep saying to Sue, I'm never ever going to give up, because we need to keep expanding. We need to hit as many women and children as we possibly can, because there's always victims out there, and that keeps me motivated. Sometimes I feel like I'm a bit of a Duracell bunny because it's constant, come on, let's do more, let's do more, let's do more. But that's my passion, is just to support as many women as we possibly can. Over to you, Sue.
So mine's really weird as well, because when I was at school and college and everything, I always wanted to go into some sort of field to support other people like you. And I remember thinking originally I wanted to go into the health service, so I've looked into all of that. Anyway, randomly didn't happen. Ended up in an admin job. Then I had my children, ended up working in schools. So I worked in schools for a number of years. And eventually I moved into a private school that worked with young people with social emotional difficulties. They were largely neurodiverse as well. And I came across one young lady who I worked really closely with, and she had quite a chaotic life. And part of that included her parents splitting up because of domestic abuse. And to see the impact it had had on her and the ongoing impact it had had on her, I became more and more interested in that sort of side of things. So purely by chance, I got to a point where I wanted to move on and do something else. And a job came up with PWA as a children's worker. So I applied for that, got the job, and me and another lady started at the same time. And basically at that time, there was no children's service within PWA. What there had been previously, staff had moved on, and there was this big gap. So we were left to develop the service as we chose to, which was absolutely amazing. So as we developed that, and with my increasing interest in domestic abuse and the impact it had on children and then the adults, I then moved into various different roles and gradually ended up where I am today. And like you say, I think as I've become more and more aware of the impact it can have on someone and the number of women that are affected by domestic abuse, it's just made me want to support those women to move on in their lives, which I think is really, really important.
I feel like we're a bit like Cagney and Lacey. Or what other ones are there out there?
Oh, I don't know.
I can't
You've
think,
gone
I
out
can't
of my
think
mind
of it
now.
But I think Sue and I have different roles, but we're actually very different in the way we work
Yes.
as well, aren't we?
Yes.
So I am the Duracell bunny, and Sue is the one that's saying, Mandy, just calm down a little bit. And
I'm very
think
the
things
rational
through.
and
Yeah.
organised, and I like to think all
Yeah.
of the different options and go,
We-
hold on a minute, what about this? And
Yeah.
what about that? And if you do that, Mandy, then this might happen.
But it's actually a really good combination, because I think in any business or charity, you need people that complement each
Yes.
other. So I've got the crazy thinking.
Yes,
Sue's got that.
you're very much, you can think outside the
Yeah.
box as well and come up with all these crazy ideas.
And then Sue is the one that's like, okay, we can do this, but we need to think about it and put this into
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah.
Next question.
You've kind of touched on it, but I was going to say, what are the challenges of being a CEO of a charity?
The biggest challenge is, I suppose, the worry. I worry a lot because I feel like I am responsible for, we've got 26 members of staff now, and I feel like it's my role to, one, ensure that people have their jobs, so there's this constant funding all of the time. And then there's other challenges in terms of literally like time, having the time to do things and develop the charity and stuff like that. The challenges with work-life balance, that's, you know, something that I'm sure most people that not just in my role in the sector struggle with. But yeah, I think the main challenge is the responsibility. There's an overwhelming feeling of responsibility. And if I make a mistake, or if I don't secure money, or if we haven't got the right policies in place, it's all kind of down to me. So yeah, I think that is the main thing. So you are listening to Keep Women Talking, and Sue and I are being interviewed today, which is amazing, by two students, and we will be coming back with more questions after the break.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
There's simply a variety of choice at Chicken Valley, 318 Lincoln Road, and we don't just mean whether you dine in or order for takeaway or delivery, with halal dishes including peri-peri chicken, wings, strips and wraps, Korean burgers, sides, milkshakes and so much more. You'll have to experience Chicken Valley again and again and again. Open 11 a.m. until late, every day of the week. Order delivery via Just Eat, Uber or Food Hub. Or for collection, call Chicken Valley on 01733 564 053.
Moving house? Feeling overwhelmed? Boxes everywhere? Ivet Self Storage can help. Our secure, clean and modern facility, Peterborough's preferred choice, gives you the extra space you need with 24/7 security and easy access. So instead of tripping over boxes, store them with us and breathe easy. Visit Ivet, spelt IVATT, selfstorage.co.uk today. Because moving is hard enough.
At Cake Inn, all our cakes and slices are freshly baked for that delicious taste. At Cake Inn, we bake 100% vegetarian and halal eggless fresh queen cakes. Delicious flavoured cakes for birthdays and weddings, ceremonies and all other occasions, with free customised messages, even balloons and candles too. Order for delivery or collection from Cake Inn, 489 Lincoln Road, PE1 2PE, and your cake could be ready within 2 hours. Find out more and order online at cakein.co.uk or call 01733 496 584.
Already running a business but want to scale, boost profits, and free up more time for the things you love? The Progressive Business Network is where business owners, mentors, investors, and keynote speakers share real-world strategies for growth. Each month you'll gain practical advice, fresh ideas, and powerful connections to help you work smarter, not harder. Grow your profits, grow your network, grow your freedom. Join the Progressive Business Network. Visit progressivebusinessnetwork.co.uk today. Progressive Business Network. Learn, connect, scale.
Mirage Wedding and Catering Services have everything to make your special day, party or celebration one to remember for all the right reasons. As well as quality catering, freshly made with seasonal produce, Mirage supply stages, lighting and house lights, decor and marquees, Chivari chairs and table hire, attentive staff, supercars and so much more. Call 07860 125 092 or visit mirageweddingsuk.com. Also across all social media. Mirage, making every wedding better.
Peterborough's community radio station, Salaam Radio, 106.2 FM.
Good afternoon and welcome back. You are listening to Keep Women Talking, a show from Peterborough Women's Aid. I am with Sue, as always. Hello, Sue.
Hello.
And today we have Maya and Joe with us, who are on work placements. Good afternoon, Maya and Joe.
Hi. Good afternoon.
So, our question of the week this week was, what food would you totally not eat? So we've had quite a few responses to this one, so I'll do a couple now. Joe has put absolutely anything spicy.
That rules out quite a lot.
It does, doesn't it?
I'd really struggle with that. I like a bit of spicy food.
I like a curry, I like a chilli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Jane has put oysters.
Oh, yeah.
Never had an oyster. Have you guys had an oyster?
No, I've had a clam.
You've had a clam?
Oh, no, it's not a clam, a mussel.
Oh, a mussel.
It's all down the old fishy route again. It's like, no, definitely
Sue's not having any of this.
No.
A moister.
Oyster.
An oyster. It just looks really gloopy.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? And
just the whole texture thing.
It must be disgusting. Anyway, I'm sure
some people love them.
People do love an oyster.
Yeah.
Jin has put prawns. No, you won't like prawns because they're fish.
But I do eat prawns.
Oh, for goodness me.
I know. I told you I was weird.
When you eat a prawn, would it be in a sandwich?
No.
Oh, where would it be?
Probably in a Chinese takeaway. Or like if it's quite strongly flavoured, if it's in a stir fry or salt and pepper prawns, something like that, I would eat.
You would eat, okay.
But only a few. I wouldn't eat loads.
Prawns, anyone?
No.
I mean, I will eat a prawn, but I'm not partial to one.
Okay, okay. Let's do one more. We'll get a consensus. So Sophie said courgette.
See, I quite like courgettes. Especially if they're roasted.
I like a roasted courgette. What I don't like is when they go mushy.
Yes.
Like really mushy.
Yes. Again, it's a texture thing, isn't it?
It's a texture thing. Courgettes, people?
So courgette just a weird cucumber?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never tried one.
I don't mind if my mum puts it in like my spaghetti bolognese.
Okay,
I'd
brilliant.
eat that.
Yeah, in something else.
Brilliant,
yeah.
healthy options. Okay, let's get some more. What would you absolutely, totally not eat? So today we are joined by Joe and Maya, who are on work placements with us, and we are reversing the show, and they are asking Sue and I questions. So can we have our next question, please?
Yes, so my next one is, do either of you struggle to leave your work in the workplace?
Sue, over to you.
Sometimes, yes. So I'm quite good at shutting off, but there are certain cases, because obviously I still do quite a bit of frontline work. There are certain cases that stay with you for quite a while, or if something particularly has happened that day, it might stay with you for a couple of days. So yeah, I think some cases, especially when they've been in refuge and they've perhaps been in there for 2 years, and then they've moved on, there's certain cases that just stay with you for a variety of reasons. Sometimes it's a really good reason because, you know, they've had a great outcome, they've moved on, you know, they've got their own home, the children are thriving. And then there's other cases where they've perhaps things haven't gone their way, or they've returned to their perpetrator, which we know can sometimes happen, and you then worry about whether they're safe. But generally, I think I'm pretty good at switching off and keeping those boundaries in place.
Yeah, I would say I'm probably not. Only because I do a lot of things for the charity, like, for example, like social media and things like that. So if something pops up on Facebook and it's a Saturday night and it's maybe, I don't know, someone's been convicted of domestic abuse and it's a police Facebook post, I will then think, oh, I should share that on our PWA website or our feeds.
And I think
whatever.
that constantly sits at both the back of our minds, that if something does pop up like that.
I think in terms of leaving work at home, in terms of client work, I think because I don't do much frontline work with individuals, even though I know a lot of the clients we work with, I think as you get more experienced and you learn to leave that at home, don't you? Because otherwise...
At work, even.
Leave that at work, yeah. otherwise it can really start affecting you kind of emotionally and personally. And we have, you know, a lot of frontline workers in domestic abuse get burnt out because they're constantly thinking about work, or they're constantly trying to support clients. And we always say to the people that work for us is that we're not an emergency service, so we're not the police. If someone is in immediate danger, then they need to reach out to the police for that immediate support. We are kind of the aftercare, or the care through someone being in an abusive relationship.
And I think sometimes it's acknowledging that we can only do so much.
Yes.
And I think everyone who works in our organisation will very often say to them, you have done what you can for this person. You cannot do any more. And that's very often going over and above what we offer as an organisation as well.
Yeah.
So it's actually acknowledging that actually you've done everything that you can within your role, and it's actually someone else's job to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, next question.
Right, so obviously your charity operates out of Peterborough. I was wondering, in Peterborough, do you know of any specific policies that protect women from gender-based violence?
Wow, that's a good question. So let me answer this in terms of saying, so to begin with, you have to look at the national picture. So the national picture is that Keir Starmer, obviously not going out now as Prime Minister, but when he came in for the Labour Party, they said that they were going to halve violence against women and girls in the next 10 years. So from that promise, I suppose, the government then developed a strategy about how they were going to do this. And the strategy is in three main parts. And it's prevention, which is working with young people. It's victim work that we do, and then it's working with perpetrators. So that's the kind of big picture at the top of it all. The government have this strategy. That strategy then filters down funding into all the other local governments. And then we come up, like Cambridgeshire, for example, come up with their own strategy. Okay, how are we going to spend this money that the government has given us for their three main key areas? So for us, a lot of money comes through the local authority, and the key area there is safe accommodation and community support. So that kind of ticks the victim box. And then we have more money that comes from the Office of Police Crime Commissioner, again working with victims, that ticks that box. We also have some money that comes to us for the prevention work that we do, and that is around working with children and young people. And then what is coming into Cambridgeshire, which is something that's new and has been tested in other areas, is a focus on working with perpetrators. So there's something coming to Cambridgeshire called the DRIVE programme, and what this does is it identifies perpetrators of abuse and it puts intense support around that perpetrator. So for example, is he housed, is he working, are there drugs and alcohol issues? How can we ensure that that perpetrator doesn't perpetrate violence against women and girls again? Excuse me, and giving them the skills and the stuff to do that through a programme. So repeat the question, Joe, because I feel like I've harped on.
I was asking about specific policies in Peterborough that protect women from gender-based violence.
So in Peterborough, there are loads of things that are coming out of the Police and Crime Commissioner's office and the local authority. So DRIVE, the perpetrator programme, is a big one. There's also businesses against abuse. So you may have seen on Stagecoach buses, it says we are a safe place. So what the Police and Crime Commissioner are trying to do is look at the nighttime economy and make sure that they're safe. For example, girls and women travelling on a bus home late at night, make sure there's CCTV on that bus. Make sure that the driver is aware of who they need to contact if anything happens, and making that a safe place. And then they're investing more with businesses against abuse to actually go into the workplace and educate people about domestic abuse, educate people about services that are there as well. So that's a local initiative. There's also other initiatives that are going on. There's a scheme in Cambridge called Safer Corridors, which is about rape crisis working in schools to educate students about sexual abuse and sexual assault. So yes, there are lots of things going on locally, but they're still influenced by that government three-stranded plan. They get the money, and then it all comes out to different partners. If anyone understood any of that. Okay, does that answer your question?
It does.
Okay.
And following from that, you said there's been a lot of change, especially with the Labour government, and like new initiatives like Drive and stuff going on in Peterborough. Have any of the changes been made affected the way that your charity runs specifically?
Oh, yes. Good question. I think, if anything, it's been a swings and roundabouts situation. So what the government or the Home Office is doing, they are now saying that the bunch of money that the government give them, they're going to put down locally, and local organisations like the Police and Crime Commission or the local council are then going to give out that money to organisations such as ours. So that's good. So we've got more money from that little pot. But then what's happened is the projects that were funded by the Home Office directly to us have now stopped being funded. So it's the swings and roundabouts. We're getting more money locally, but our national money's gone. So this is just my view, that promise about halving VORG in 10 years, actually, if you're giving with one hand and taking away with the other, how is that going to actually work and happen?
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, that's all I have on that, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any more questions at all for us?
Yes.
Go on.
Is there an issue surrounding repeat offenders in Peterborough?
I tell you what, there's an issue surrounding repeat offenders everywhere. What we do know about perpetrators is that they will target vulnerable women. So not only do we have repeat offenders, we would say that we have repeat victims, but I say that in a very non-victim blaming way, because perpetrators will target these vulnerable women who have been victims of domestic abuse before and near enough find them as easy prey, you know. What we do in Cambridgeshire is that we have, not sure if it's still going, obviously we've got the Drive programme coming for perpetrators, but we've got a perpetrator panel. And this is when the police and other agencies can identify men that are multiple perpetrators and then put some intervention in to make sure that they don't perpetrate abuse again.
I'm going to go off at a tangent now.
Oh, please do so.
So, on a side note to that, when you were talking about perpetrators, with the rise in online dating, if you like, what we've noticed with some of the people that we've worked with is that men will sit on those dating apps, and obviously they will then be messaging a number of different women.
Yes.
And of course, at this point, they're being really nice and kind and generous and friendly. And I think they almost go at multiple women to try and find that woman who is vulnerable, to find that woman who is going to appease him and almost do whatever he wants. Because we know that perpetrator behaviour starts off really, really subtly initially, and there can be a lot of love bombing and a lot of gaslighting early on. So like you say, they're almost trying to find that next person that they can control and have that power over, and who they can manipulate easily to be able to get what they want from that relationship. So it's almost like these dating apps. I've never been on them.
It's like
no
open
idea,
season, isn't
yes,
it? In terms of perpetrators being able to target women, and like you say, send out multiple
and it's almost like you say, you've got multiple
whatever.
Things on the go.
In a way, you've got multiple victims out there, haven't you?
Yeah, it almost helps perpetrators in what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And that we know that, you know, it's very easy to be someone else on a message, and that you don't have to be yourself. You can put this other persona and be this other person, and it's very easy to hide yourself behind a fake name
Yes.
or fake personality.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you've already manipulated someone and pulled them in to that relationship and formed some sort of attachment. And then that almost makes the behaviours, the abusive behaviours, easier to filter into that relationship.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Sue. Any more questions, students?
One coming off that is, do you think the issue of repeat offenders could stem from the lack of punishment they receive?
That's a massive question. I think one of the main things is that we find is that prosecuting people who have done domestic abuse, and the same with any sexual violence, is really, really difficult. If somebody punches someone else and there's a obvious wound or bruising, you can take photos of that. That can have physical evidence. But if someone is coerced, if someone is emotionally or psychologically abused, that is really, really hard to prove, especially when we know with perpetrators, they're very often really, really good at talking and manipulating everyone around them. They've probably done this their entire life, and they've probably manipulated everyone that they've come into contact with. And they're very good at putting on this fake persona of this nice, kind, sometimes upstanding citizen within the community. So it is really, really hard to have sufficient evidence to prove a criminal case.
And I think, so we know a lot of a DA doesn't get to court. CPS don't have the, like you say, the evidence to do it. We know more so with rape cases. There is sometimes a lack of evidence, or the CPS won't proceed with them. I think we also are really aware, especially in rape cases, the wait list to get to court can be anywhere up to 2 years. Now, for women who are waiting that long and hopefully are on their journey of recovery, to then have to relive it 2 years later, when this guy's probably been out and about on bail or whatever, actually are they going to put themselves through that again? So
a lot of women are even reluctant to go to the police because knowing that they're going to have to repeat what's happened to them numerous times is so re-traumatising for them. And then there's the fear of not being believed, the fear of any consequences that may come from that. It's a really difficult time for them and a really difficult process and experience for anyone to go through.
And I think to answer your question, in terms of sentencing, sentences really vary from one crime to another.
And from one judge to another.
From one judge to another too. So obviously the criminal justice system has sentencing guidelines, but a lot of the time what we'll find is that we would maybe say that he's attacked her, so that's ABH or GBH, but the CPS will only prosecute for common assault. So the sentencing guidelines for common assault are a lot less than ABH or GBH. So then you look at the sentence and think, well, he's done that and he's only got a year. He's probably only going to serve 6 months and then he'll be out, but potentially good behaviour, he'll only serve 3. So you're looking at really severe behaviours and crimes, but the sentencing, a lot of the time, we feel doesn't match the crime. And then there's also the issue of when the perpetrator gets released from prison, what conditions is he being released under? You know, are there conditions that he can't make contact with the victim? Are there conditions he can't go within a certain area of her home? And if he breaks those conditions, are people actually going to take that seriously? Which we get quite a lot. That authorities will just say, well, you know, we'll give him a ticking off and that kind of stuff. So there's loads of stuff around sentencing, but also the enforcement of the sentence as well are things that we probably see a lot of, don't we?
Yeah, and I think it's really hard because with our organisation, we understand and recognise the huge impact this can have on someone's life long term, where I think a lot of other organisations and other professionals don't necessarily have that insight and they don't realise the impact that coercive control or that psychological abuse can have on someone lifelong.
Yeah, definitely. Right, on a more cheery subject, what food would you totally not eat? I have another vote for liver.
See,
There you go.
it's
Yeah.
just not a fan, is it?
I think maybe people my age were forced to eat liver because it was cheap as well, wasn't it? Is liver still cheap?
I would imagine
It
so.
must be cheap.
Well, it must be.
No
'cause
one wants to pay for
wants-
liver.
I think like kidney. See, I'd throw all of them. Liver, kidney, like you get a...
I wouldn't eat a
don't
kidney.
know.
Oh, neither would I.
No, absolutely not. Now I've got someone here that said sushi.
I'm with them.
Oh, so am I.
The whole
I've never
fish
tried
thing.
sushi.
Oh wow. Okay, I love sushi.
Do you? See, I'd
Yeah.
eat the chicken sushi or vegetable sushi.
But what about the prawn in this? Would you have a prawn sushi?
I might have a prawn sushi, but not the whole fish sushi.
Not a whole
I can't
fish.
speak now.
Do you not enjoy a
Sushi.
salmon?
No, oh no,
Oh
no.
no. Anyone? No.
Definitely
All three
not.
of you don't enjoy a salmon. And then we've got Sharon. This is our last one that says mushrooms.
I don't like mushrooms.
I've never tried a mushroom. I'm told they taste like chicken.
They
Oh,
definitely
we
don't taste like
know.
chicken, Joe.
No, definitely not. See, a lot of people don't like mushrooms. A friend of mine absolutely detests mushrooms. Something to do with the texture again, that they become a bit soggy and...
I'm not a mushroom lover, but I'm not a mushroom hater.
No.
You know.
I quite like mushrooms, personally.
What would you have a mushroom on?
Garlic mushrooms on toast springs to mind.
Exactly. See, I'd love that. I wouldn't make that myself, but if I went to a restaurant
Yes.
and it was like garlic mushrooms with a brioche bun or
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
100%.
I think you only really see mushrooms in a pasta, pizza, or an English breakfast.
True.
All
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Absolutely all good.
Yeah. Are you sure you haven't had them on an English breakfast?
No, I don't eat them. I always palm them off.
Passes them on to someone
Yeah.
else. We haven't got long.
No, we haven't.
got
Sorry,
long left.
we haven't got long left. So, do you have any other questions for us?
Yes, I have one last question.
Oh, okay.
You both do a lot of victim work, as you've said, well, especially Sue. And I was wondering, in Peterborough specifically, are there any trends in vulnerability for women?
Oh, wow. I think the thing is that there are so many women who are vulnerable for a number of different reasons. And we know that if people are involved in a domestic abuse relationship, they can then become more and more vulnerable because they can develop coping strategies such as alcohol and drugs to cope with the abuse that they're experiencing, which then in time makes them more vulnerable. So it's really, really hard. And they're really hard to treat as well while they remain in that relationship. And then once they get out of that, unless they recognise those vulnerabilities, they won't necessarily reach out for support. And then there's other people who have learning difficulties or neurodiversity that can also, make people very vulnerable. And sometimes people's past experience, depending on childhoods and the support system that they've got around them and how positively influenced they are, there's so many things that can make a woman vulnerable. It's really, really difficult. And I think the numbers we know, the domestic abuse figures haven't changed in over 50 years. So there's been no improvement in the number of victims out there.
No.
And this is part of the work that we're doing in terms of now trying to educate younger people on positive and healthy relationships.
I think also in terms of specifically Peterborough, we do have our vulnerable groups, don't we?
Yes.
So we have, for example, the Dahlia Project, who works specifically with South Asian victims, because we know there are cultural and religious...
Absolutely, and language difficulties.
Yeah, I was trying to say cultural and religious aspects, but I don't want to... That again seems quite blaming of culture and religion, and that's not what we're saying, is it?
I think it's when they are misused.
Yes. To excuse.
Yes, and excuse behaviour.
Yeah.
That they then become vulnerable.
And within that, mostly, it is mostly South Asian group, we then have women with no recourse to public funding, which means that they are particularly vulnerable because they do not have any rights, I suppose, to be in this country, which means they can't access the NHS, housing, anything. And often they are brought here to marry somebody, and that person becomes abusive, and then they can't escape because they've got nothing. So that's a particularly vulnerable cohort, I suppose, of women that we work with in Peterborough. And then we've also obviously got our Lithuanian project, very much along the same lines as the Dahlia project, because we know there's a huge language barrier and cultural barrier to accessing abuse. So we are nearly at the end of our programme. Sue and I have been interviewed by Maya and Joe today. They've had some fabulous questions, haven't they, Sue?
Brilliant questions. Thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, really good questions. And good luck with your studies. We hope that coming here has given you an insight to the work that we do.